Just so we have a visual of how fucked up this room is on, I believe, the 20th of January. It is majorly fucked up. There is stuff literally everywhere. Um, and I am like obnoxiously overwhelmed. Amanda continues to overwhelm me with requests. Wants to get Minnie over here, which I don't disagree with that is necessary. But this room is completely fucked up. The wiring, the networking, everything like that is fucked up. We still have a bunch of shit to do everywhere, and yeah, just priorities are not in sync, I guess here, because I need to deal with all this shit. So I'm getting very stressed, very aggravated, very borderline annoyed, um, and I don't know what else to say because it's just like fucking it's like a fucking roller coaster around here, just ups and downs of my mental state. Because I have this computer over here that is not getting any fucking internet because the Wi-Fi is fucked up. I mean, I guess I have to reset the network settings or something. The Wi-Fi is giving me shit, and the fucking Ethernet. Like I said, the cable coming upstairs is somehow fucked up. So yeah, that's where we're at. But just I'm just documenting this here because it's gonna be better here, hopefully as soon as possible. But it's a fucking clusterfuck. I have no idea where I'm gonna put my clothes. Amanda has taken every bit of space in the bedroom there, and I'm not blaming her because I didn't want a lot of dressers or anything. I sold a lot of our dressers, but the point is that I gotta find space for all these things. There's a lot of things on the list, and again, priorities. I don't know what to say. So, yep, I am not in a good space right now. Don't have a lot of fucking time even to necessarily do some of this shit. I don't know. Forced to work at the restaurant. Yeah, today, tomorrow, Saturday. Tired of this shit, man. I'm just fucking tired of it. Gotta keep going though, because there's no alternative. So let's keep going. All right, here's my situation. Got to document this because hopefully I am able to fix it. We have the tester here. We're working on this Ethernet cable. It's the white cable that goes all the way up there past that freezer. You can kind of see it going to the ceiling there. It goes all the way upstairs into the office. It's a long cable, goes through walls and all sorts of shit. So that is what we're testing here. You can obviously see here that we are testing it to see if it works, and it says fail open. And what that means is that not all of the 8 wires in there, there's 4 twisted pairs of wires, all of those 8 wires are not getting to their destination, right? There's some sort of break in the connection, like an open in the connection or whatever somewhere, but apparently 1 and 2 are good, and 4 and 5 are good, and then 3 and 6 and 7 and 8 are not good. You can kind of see over here, this is the wiring schema that I used here is T56 T568B, and I'm assuming that these numbers correspond to those. So in our case here, 3, because we're looking at the top one, the greens, the green, white, and the green, and then the brown, white, and the brown are what we are having issues with. If these line up, and that's how that works, which I would assume that's how that works. But yeah, so that is our situation, and that is what I found myself in. So like somewhere in this tester thing, or within this cable, there's a issue with 3, 6, 7, and 8. I had a different one of these. I had the Scout Junior 2 or 2 Junior or whatever like that, and I got to this point, but I was like, okay, well, if it's open and it's an 80-foot long cable, I'm not going to try to rerun this if I don't have to. I want to know where the problem is. So I returned that, and I got this one because specifically for this feature right here, which is supposed to tell you how far the cable is, like how far, basically, in this sense, how long those pairs run. To my knowledge, this is how this works, right? So 1 and 2 In our case, the oranges run 80 feet. Okay, that kind of makes sense. 3 and 6 run 6 feet. We'll come back to that in a second because that doesn't seem right. 4 and 5 are 88 feet. And remember, 1 and 2 and 4 and 5 were all good. Like they said they passed, which is confusing to me that there's an 8-foot difference in that. But as long as it works, I don't really care. That's just strange. And then we have 7 and 8 here. That is apparently 0 feet. So, all of that data, now that we know, these are the browns. It looks like there's probably an issue, like maybe I would assume from this tester and everything, like just right in here. Like maybe I crimped it wrong because I did, I crimped these cables on here. Maybe that's an issue. I don't know. But obviously there's something wrong with the browns. And then the blues here, or I'm sorry, the greens, right? The greens apparently only go 6 feet from this tester, that away. So that's about where that tape measure is, and there's nothing in the cable has sheathing on and everything like that. And I didn't really see any problems with it, with the wire itself. Like it's not physically cut right there. They could be pinched or something inside. That's definitely possible. But the reason I'm documenting this is because I guess my only option, I really have two options, I guess. I didn't want to lose a bunch of this cord. I mean, we had extra, but I didn't know exactly where it was going to end up in my, laundry room over there. So the place that I'm in is I guess I could do a couple things. I could rip the whole thing out of the wall and do a new one. I don't really want to do that at all. And I don't think that's the smartest thing to do right now, given this information, because I thought maybe it was like in the attic somewhere in the middle of the cable. But apparently, according to this, it's the problem's right here, because the one thing I'm not going to show in this video is if I took this tool and I went to the top, the office where the connection terminates on the other end, they're all like in the 80s as far as the length of the cables coming the other way. So it's obviously the problem is somewhere right here at the end of this, which is kind of funny, but also relatively, we're relatively fortunate, I guess. So I guess what I could do hypothetically, if all of this information is correct, I could cut this thing somewhere, in that range, like, 6 feet plus. So like, I could say like, let's cut it like 7 feet that way, right past that tape measure, and then put a new, RJ45 connector on it, and hope to God that it works. That might just finish. As long as I crimp it properly, that might be the best option. What I could also do though, maybe is just like do that right here somewhere, like within like a foot or so, and then I guess maybe that would help. It would be interesting to see at least if it fixes the one issue. I'd have to, I don't know. That's just where I'm at, and it's annoying because I don't know exactly why, but I think what I might end up doing is just trying to cut it like over there. The only trouble is, like, again, I don't want to lose more of the cable, but I don't really know if there's another option. So I've been trying to see like what people have done in these situations. Like I didn't really see any information online what they do when they see, like, the other thing I thought, just for instance, is I know there's something called like a toner, which I just saw kind of a video on, where like you can put it like somewhere, you can put it on a wire and you can tell which wire is which. I don't really think that's necessary in this case. I thought maybe there's a tool where instead of having to plug it in to see like what the length was, maybe like I could have this plugged in like this and then take some sort of other tool and be like, tap it to the pairs down here, and it would tell me how far I am. But I don't think that's how it measures the lengths and stuff. It's all kind of confusing. But anyway, I'm going to try to figure this out, and I might end up just cutting it down there, just to make this easy and crimp a new one on. But hopefully it works after that. It's just kind of strange. A lot of weirdness going on here. So I made this decision that I'm going to cut this just a little bit further than 6 feet, see what happens, because we have 0 and we have 6. It doesn't seem like it's working on those 4 wires. So we're just going to try it like this. I pulled this over here because I wanted to take this video to see exactly what happens when I cut this. This is the good pair, but it's going to be plugged into the dead wire here in a second. So it should, I don't know. It's actually going to be really interesting what happens when I click this. Just had a thought. Is the thing that I noticed about this is that there's a little remote on the other side, the other connector, but it doesn't need to be plugged in for you to measure the footage. Like if I unplugged it upstairs, it would still do this. It wouldn't say open or failed, because it needs to know both the connectors, but it would still somehow say how far the wire is. So I just had this thought, if I took this on the other end and I looked at those lengths, I don't think it matters. I think it's still not really going to help me at all. There's still a break, obviously, somewhere in here. So that was just a quick aside. But yeah, I'm just going to cut this right now. And what should happen, though, this is interesting. What should happen is when I cut this, assuming this works how I said, this number should go down to like 7, and they should all be like 6 or 7 or whatever. So I'm just hoping that happens. Pray for me. This really isn't the end of the world. I have enough anyway. But all right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stick this in here into our cutter. We're gonna just cut it. Aha! Nice, perfect. So it's 8 feet. So now, just to have fun here. That's 3 feet now. Okay, that's a little confusing and not good. That's 8 feet. And that's still 0. Okay, so this is probably the most confusing thing I've ever seen. This was 6 feet before, and now it says 3 feet. So, and I didn't, like the other one went down to 8 feet. So obviously I cut this cable like 8 feet long, and there's something going on here now where this says 3 feet. I thought this would stay the same at 6. So that's a bit concerning. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm going to go upstairs now and just check to see what the lengths are up there. But hopefully I could just put a fucking end on that cable and be done with this. But I don't. That's really throwing me there. I have no idea why the hell that happened. All right, I've got an update on this issue here. So what I did was I took off the end of the cable that I just cut. And I have the other end kind of chilling over there. If I do something here, I'll throw a picture on the screen or whatever. But here's what I found, and this is all really good information, so you don't fuck up like I did. When I initially crimped this, I used a regular crimper right there, not a pass-through crimper, even though these are pass-through things. So I had wires sticking out of this end, and I was trying to crimp it with that, and that works. The crimp part works, but then you have wires sticking out, and you can't get rid of them because the pass-through crimper does that for you. So what I tried to do was I tried to stick this in like the other way and cut it with the blade, which is not what you're supposed to do. And I also tried like using a utility knife. You could probably do it if you're careful, but this was like the first one that I did, and you're not really probably going to be able to see this, but maybe right there, if you look really closely, if you look all the way to the right where the brown is, like you can kind of see where like there's like this plastic. It's like the plastic up here, like where you can see that blue wire. If you look more to the right, you can see a green wire, but you can't really see the brown wire. And you can see the orange wire. It's hard to see, but if you have one of these, you'll be able to tell. You can see right there, it's kind of decent. The plastic is fucked up. Like it's supposed to be straight down, and it's kind of bent. And I guarantee that I did that, and I didn't like notice that. So as far as the brown, like the pairs 7 and 8 or whatever being at 0, I think it was the connectors problem. I think it was I messed up the crimp, so I think that that's okay. Now I still don't think that this had anything to do with the other one though. So I'm a little concerned because if I put on another end downstairs right now and I crimp it properly, I think I'm still gonna have the issue with what is that, 3 and 6 or whatever. But I think that properly crimping will solve my 7 and 8 issue. I don't know. We shall see. All right, I threw a new end on here. The cable, the connector itself, I'm very confident in. I didn't screw it up this time. I used the actual correct crimper, so that's good. I'm gonna plug it in to the thing here, and we're gonna see what it says. No way! That's amazing! Alright, well, here's what I'm gonna say. I think I might have just screwed up the crimp, but
Oh, I lost some cable, but that's fine. I don't think it's actually broken anywhere, even though this thing, that was really weird. I don't know. I'm not gonna, I'll inspect the other cable, but I'm just gonna plug this in and go check it because I guess it works now. That's amazing.